Welcome back to the weekend with Anthony Opperman here on Sports Radio 910. Flying Squirrels season already underway after the team opening the year on the road. They won't return home until this Thursday when they welcome in the Altoona Curve, a special opening night celebration. And, opening day in baseball is special in and of itself, especially your home opener. But then when you add a guy like Dale Murphy to opening night and also Nutsy jetpacking in as his grand entrance, it's going to be a very memorable evening at the Diamond. And happy to be joined now here on the weekend by the man himself, Dale Murphy. Dale, first and foremost, thank you so much for taking the time. Really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you very much. Thanks for having me on.
I guess first and foremost, take us back to your time in the minor leagues and what you remember, not only from your time in Richmond, but also just your minor league experiences as a whole. I know minor league baseball has changed pretty dramatically since then.
Yeah, it has. It's hard to even believe that I started that long ago. I started in 1974, drafted out of high school in Portland, Oregon, by the Braves, and went to Kingsport, Tennessee that first year. And then my next year was Greenwood, South Carolina, then Savannah, Georgia. And then the next year, Richmond, Virginia. And, I had a great time. And throughout all my stops along the way, Richmond, of course, has some special memories because that was my last spot before I went to the big leagues. So, it's a challenging time in a kid's life trying to figure out, if he can make it and just, we didn't have the internet and all those kind of things, and I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. And in Portland, Oregon, born and raised there, and been to California a few times. I mean, been around a little bit, but I hadn't been around the Southeast that much, and eastern part of the United States. So it was a tremendous growing experience.
Was it a big culture shock going from Portland to Kingsport, Tennessee?
Well, I learned what grits and country ham were, and found out that I really liked it. For sure. Just one thing, it was the humidity. Growing up in Portland, Oregon, going out in the summer and playing, and then all of a sudden I was, playing there in some hot summer nights, trying to figure out how to get my breath. You grow up playing with your local buddies in high school and American Legion, and then you join a team with guys from all over the world. Now it's even more so with the guys from Japan and Australia, but listening to guys speak Spanish and guys from the Dominican and Mexico, and then trying to learn that Southern drawl as well. It was a big culture shock for me, for sure.
Former Atlanta Braves great Dale Murphy joined us here on the weekend. And Dale, you talk about Richmond being a fond memory of your minor league career because that was where you were at when you got promoted to the big leagues for the first time. Do you still remember that experience and what that feeling was like?
Yeah, I sure do. It was actually my full year in Richmond was 1977, but I actually got called up the last few weeks of 1976. I started the year in Savannah and got called up to Richmond. And, we were in the playoffs. I was there. Jack McKeon was the manager, which a lot of people don't realize. I played for Jack McKeon back in 76, and we got into the playoffs. We got beat, and he pulls me into his office. Afterwards, we were in Syracuse, I think, in the playoffs. He said, "Hey, I don't remember exactly what he said. I probably fell on the floor when he told me, but basically he said, you're going up. They want you to join the team in L.A." And, I just about died. I didn't know. I'm sure I went and found a payphone somewhere and called my mom and dad and let them know. And, early next morning, I ended up getting on a plane with a teammate, Jamie Easterly, who went with me, and met the team in Los Angeles, and that's where I played my first game. Yeah, it was a thrilling, scary thing.
What was the biggest difference at that time between the minor leagues and the major leagues, and how did you handle that adjustment? Because I think that's one of the challenges for some of these guys coming up now. Granted, they get some time in big league camp and have veterans that step aside with them and show them the ropes, but it's a big jump to go from the minor leagues to the big leagues.
It really is. And now it's even tougher because they move kids even faster. I think the kids nowadays have played a lot more baseball and are a lot more prepared. But I was thankful for my time, in Richmond to give me that kind of polishing. I guess I needed to find a position, but my offense was getting better. But yeah, it's just the daily nature of facing a major league competition, whereas in the minor leagues, in the lower levels, you're facing prospects that haven't quite figured out how to do things right as consistently. Then you get into AAA, and you're actually facing guys that have been in the big leagues, and guys that are one step away. But then you get to the big leagues, you're facing guys that are there, that are experienced, and that daily nature of the competition is really eye-opening. In some ways it's easier. That may sound funny, but in some ways it is, because everything's better. Conditions, 30, 35, 40 years ago, the lights weren't that good sometimes in the minor leagues, but now you could see, everything was good, but all of a sudden the defense is better, pitching is better, and it took a little adjustment for me to get used to that, for sure.
Dale Murphy joined us here on the weekend. Of course, he'll be appearing at the Diamond for Flying Squirrels opening day coming up this Thursday. And Dale, you had so many honors and accolades during your time in the major leagues with the Atlanta Braves. Were there any memories specifically that really stuck out to you, and just some things that when you reflect back on your playing career that you just really look back fondly on?
Well, I think, you always remember the good times. That's what you always want to, that's just a natural thing to do. So, I always think back about the early 80s was the time we really got going. Joe Torre was our manager. Bobby Cox and Ted Turner had let Bobby go. Bobby really assembled a good group of young players, and Joe Torre came along and kind of molded us together into a good team, a division-winning team in '82, and then in '83 and '84 we played really well also. So, those years is, when I think back, that's really what I reflect on. Won the MVP in '82 and '83, and we just had a lot of fun, very competitive, and a great group of guys, and that's what you always remember is the good times and the winning seasons.
And you had tremendous success in your career, 2-time MVP, many Silver Slugger and Gold Glove awards. You ever think about the Hall of Fame?
Well, yeah, I do. It's my last year of eligibility coming up. Then I think I go into being eligible with the Veterans Committee and things like that. So yeah, I think about it. I don't. I'm not very close in the voting, so I'm not really exact. I'm not going to be voted in. I mean, if I was voted in next year, my last year of eligibility, it would be totally historic and unprecedented. I think I've topped out 15-16%, and you got to get 75. And so, I don't think it's going to happen in that way, but maybe it will in the future with the Veterans Committee. I think there's a place in there for me. I realize that there are guys that that I don't compare to in the Hall of Fame, and I think there's some guys I do compare to. So we'll just have to wait and see.
Dale Murphy joined us here on the weekend. Again, he'll be appearing at opening day with the Flying Squirrels coming up this Thursday. Dale, when was the last time you were in Richmond?
Well, I was there the last game of the Richmond Braves, when the Braves franchise moved, and I'm not sure when that was. I'm guessing 3 to 4 years ago.
The end of 2008.
And it was fun. Saw some of the old teammates and the old people associated. I guess old people didn't sound very good, very complimentary there. But we are getting old, aren't we? I mean, I'm a grandpa now. I got 4 grandkids, so people can't believe that. But anyway, yeah, I had a great experience there, reminiscing about the good times there we had, and look forward to getting back. I have great memories of playing there and great people, and really thankful that I've been invited back.
We'll go with distinguished as opposed to old. How about that?
Yeah, that sounds a lot better. It sounds a lot better.
Are you excited to hear that Richmond got a team back after the Braves left?
Yeah, I really am, and I think it's great. It's it's just a great city in so many ways, and I don't know all the details of how the Braves moved and moved on down to Gwinnett County near Atlanta. And I was sad about it, and I think I know a lot of Braves fans and Richmond Braves fans were. I mean, there's a lot of history there, and so that was kind of a sad thing. But it's good to have baseball back. It's a great city, great community, great people, and I'm glad they got baseball back. See some of the young players now that that are going to make it someday, and they can say they saw them when they were trying to learn their craft. So I'm excited for the community to have baseball back.
Same things they say about a guy like Dale Murphy joining us here on the weekend. And Dale, before I let you go, just wanted to know, what are you up to now? I know you mentioned 4 grandkids. I'm sure they keep you busy as a start.
Well, for sure, it's a great thing. It's, being a grandpa is one of those things. You're like, man, grandpa, it sounds so old, but boy, when you become a grandpa, it's the greatest thing ever. So yeah, we're keeping in track with our grandkids and our kids who have a lot of things going on. I do some speaking. I have some appearances. Did a little announcing, color commentary for the Braves in spring training, so might do some of that. And I'm on Twitter, so that's like a full-time thing for me. No, I'm just really blessed to have great memories from being able to play and back in the day, and have a lot of things going on with our family now, and just very thankful.
Dale, you can't be referred to as old if you're on Twitter.
Hey, Twitter will keep you young, I'll tell you that. I got to thank my kids for. I've had a really good experience. It's really been fun. I've been this with Braves fans. I'll say longtime Braves fans. I won't say old Braves fans, but and it's been a really good experience. And if people are interested in it, I'm at Dale Murphy 3. So we have a lot of fun. I get a little crazy there. I mean, it's not all baseball, so it's a lot of fun.
Looking forward to checking that out and following along with you on Twitter, and definitely looking forward to catching up some more when you head back into town coming up on Thursday. Dale, thank you so much for taking the time. Great conversation, and we'll keep it going later on this week.
Hey, great. Thanks a lot. I look forward to coming back to Richmond.
And Dale Murphy, one of the great Atlanta Braves of all time, join us here on the weekend. Stay tuned. Got more coming up.
The Weekend with Anthony Opperman continues next on Sports Radio 910.